Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Vivien Lyra Blair about the Boogeyman, which is now in theaters. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks so much for having me.
It's pretty crazy because, there's different stages when you do interviews, and you did like the press junkets before it's out. Now it's been like a week or two that it's been out. What's the kind of, how are you feeling about it finally being on and people get to see this movie?
Well, I mean, I'm very excited for everyone to be able to see it. I am just so happy that people can finally know. I can finally talk about it. I've been having so much fun doing press interviews, and it's just been awesome having everybody see what we worked so hard on a year ago.
Absolutely. And I do want to know about the audition process for this. So what can you tell me about auditioning for the Boogeyman specifically? Like, how much do you know about the project when you auditioned?
Well, I got the sides and I got the script as well. So I got to read the script and I loved Sawyer. So I did the tape. I did another tape, which was a callback. And then we didn't hear for like a month. And that in acting terms means you didn't get it. So I was like, okay. And then about a month later, we get a call from my agent saying that my tape actually hadn't been seen by mistake, it hadn't been passed on, and that she got it passed on finally, and the director saw it and he loved my tape. He was so excited about it, to the point where the character was originally a girl or a boy. They were still not sure if they were going to do girl or boy. And so he said he wanted to meet with me, and that was Rob. We met, we talked for longer than we probably should have. And I mean, we just really hit it off. And then about 2 weeks later, we got a call that I booked the Boogeyman, and I was so excited. Mom, she likes to do this thing when I'm in a really long audition process where she manifests the universe. My mom's a hippie, but she manifests to the universe that she wants me to get whatever will make me happy. And when she came back from that walk that she did, she got a call from Jen saying that I booked the Boogeyman. And so it really just felt like something that was going to make me happy, and it really did.
It's so crazy. And it's one of those things too, where, the projects that you've gone to work on so far, like the Boogeyman, Obi-Wan Kenobi, even Bird Box. I mean, these are like big worlds, you know what I mean? That you're in and everything. I'm just curious is that one of your favorite things about being an actor, kind of diving into all these big worlds specifically?
Yeah, for sure. Getting to work with all these amazing actors, getting to dive into huge fandoms like the Stephen King fandom, the Star Wars fandom. I mean, probably the biggest fandom ever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing getting to see all the fans. Everyone's been so supportive from all the fandoms, I feel like. And I get to do conventions now where I see all the stuff for those fandoms. And I mean, it's just been really incredible, and definitely one of my favorite parts of acting.
Yeah, 100%. There's a lot. It's funny and I'm curious because I love horror movies and I interview a lot of people that have been in some of my favorite horror movies. And I feel like when you're filming a lot of the scenes, especially there's some scenes with, your character in the basement with the lights that just had me kind of just really scared. Right?
Yes.
And everything. Are you I feel like you're in the zone though, right? Like when you're acting, you don't really think maybe sometimes about how scary it is. Maybe afterwards you'll see kind of a playback and oh, that's scary. You're not really thinking much about what you're making is scary or not, right, Vivien? Or are you thinking about that a little bit?
I don't know. It's mostly fake on set, of course. So sometimes I don't always think about how it's going to turn out, but then sometimes I do at the same time. So I'm kind of oh, I wonder how this is going to look in the final product. Oh, I wonder how they're going to touch this up. Oh, I wonder how they're going to do this, like that kind of stuff. And then the tricky part with Boogeyman is I'm not going to say I couldn't. I did not want to see the final product because it is so scary. I've walked out of quite a few theaters just like because I was like I could totally be able to watch this. It's not that bad. I know how it was made. And then in ADR, I saw the scene where Sawyer rolls the ball under the bed, and I was like, nope, nope, nope.
And that was in the trailer too. Like a lot of people saw that, and we were all freaked out of that scene too.
Apparently, they had to remove it from the beginning of Ant-Man because a bunch of little kids were seeing it and then not being able to sleep for 3 nights.
Oh my goodness!
So,
yeah,
but yeah.
And I do want to ask. There's some amazing scenes of you and Sophie Thatcher in this. I just want to know what was it like working with Sophie, and what were kind of those conversations like on set, before going in and like filming the certain scenes.
I mean, Sophie was just amazing. We were definitely had a very sisterly bond, as I'm remembering. I think I was pretty annoying, constantly wanting to hang out with her, but I mean, that's what a little sister is supposed to be. So, but I mean, we had this little thing going where our little joke was avocado toast. It just happened. Like, neither of us were really a big fan of avocado toast, to be honest. But there was this little pretend kitchen in the therapist's office that we kept playing around with. And we were saying like, oh, we're making avocado toast. And finally it ended up being a thing to the point where we just kept getting each other avocado toast stuff. Like, I think I got her socks and then she got me socks. And then I got her a little bracelet and a little plushie, and like it just became like our little thing.
She's in Yellow Jackets, also on Showtime and Paramount Plus, and that show too has a lot of scary moments. So there's just all these Sophie Thatcher projects that just have a lot of scares in them. The Yellow Jackets, it's
same with me, honestly. I've got Bird Box going, Boogeyman, Waco.
And I remember Bird Box I went and watched it 3 times when it came out. I watched it the first time. It was I loved Bird Box.
Yeah, that one for me, like, I feel like with the Boogeyman, I can't watch it now, but I'm definitely going to at some point. At some point, it's going to be like my favorite thing I've ever done, because I remember when Bird Box first came out, I could not watch it. I was like, I'm 6. This cannot happen. But now we were actually in New Orleans filming the Boogeyman, and I watched it again, and I was like, oh yeah, this isn't so scary.
Yeah.
And I watched it fully through without like closing my eyes. I was like, oh yeah, so I think in 3 years that's going to happen with the Boogeyman as well. Me just being like, oh yeah, this wasn't so scary kind of thing.
Yeah.
But just not there yet.
No, for sure. And then getting back to the Boogeyman, I want to ask you about my favorite scene in the movie. Then I want to ask you about your favorite scene specifically in the film, because my favorite scene is when Sawyer's playing video games. That's one of my favorite scenes. That's
mine too.
Is it yours? Okay, great. Okay, awesome. What? Because there's so much happening in that scene, if you think about it, from the aesthetic and the lights. So what was that like filming that scene specifically?
It was amazing. I think maybe it was just super fun because they actually gave me a PS4 to take back to the hotel to practice the game that I was supposed to be playing, to be familiar with it, which was really awesome. It's a really fun game called The Pathless, and I think like it's definitely underrated because very few people have ever heard of it, but it is so fun and so cool, and it's a PlayStation game, and I actually loved it so much that my wrap gift for the Boogeyman was a live bearded dragon from Rob, the director. I was happy with it, but my parents were like, yay, give me a live animal that's going to be in our house for 10 years. So, lovely.
Do you have it?
But, yes. Yeah.
What's the name?
But the name is Sorrow, which is the name of the lizard spirit from the game, The Pathless. And And yeah, he's my buddy. I love him very much, and we love sharing lizard facts, me and Rob, because he got a
Yeah.
bearded dragon as well. He has two, but he's just such a sweet little lizard, and
When you're a
I
bit
love him
old,
so much.
when you're a bit older, because he's done some amazing like he's worked a lot in horror, Rob, and like
Yes.
he did a movie called Host, which is one of my favorite movies.
I remember while we were in New Orleans, my mom watched Host, and I was on with my friends, and I went, ah! And then mom screamed from the other room. And me and Bella, who was my friend that I was on with, were just like, and then we were both like, did that come? Which side did that come from? And then it came out, and I was like, Mom, are you okay? And she'd been on the couch when I came out last, and she was like slid off the couch against the edge of it, like, I'm fine, I'm okay.
It is very,
right.
very scary. So, and it's cool because, oh my goodness, it's Sorrow.
This is my boy.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Say hi, buddy.
That is an incredible rap gift.
Yeah, he's my buddy.
And I think I last question also before we wrap up. When they go see Boogeyman, you're hoping they have a good time and everything. Anything else specifically you want them to get out of it, like takeaway wise, message wise, when they get a chance to go see the Boogeyman?
Well, originally it was supposed to be only streaming on Hulu, but they ended up doing a theater release because it tested so well in the test audience theater. And I think that's such a better way to do it, because a horror movie is always better to watch in theaters because you're with other people. It's dark, the screen is big, and like it can make it more scary in like a fun way, but then less scary at the same time, because you're not in your living room and then being terrified of getting thrown into your TV when you're all alone watching the movie, So like I think it can be just such a better experience to go see in theaters. So I would totally suggest going and watching it in theaters before it drops on streaming.
And the sound, Vivien, is so crazy in the theater. I would go see it. And the sound
is,
yes.
Yes, the sound
I'm telling you, the basement
sure.
with the lights and everything. Oh, it's just so freaky. Vivien, so great chatting with you. Thank you so much for joining me on Popternative.
It was so nice to see you too. This was very fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
And of course, and so they go see the Boogeyman in theaters, and then eventually it's going to be streaming, so they can check it out. And there's an Instagram account. If they just put Vivien Lyra Blair, they'll find it, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, this has been Popternative. YouTube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. You can catch Vivien Lyra Blair Sawyer in the Boogeyman, which is in theaters now and will be streaming soon. Until next time, it's Vivien and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.